you listed.
Well, the life safety part of it, making that technology just as strong as it can be, clear signals and all of that. Having that real time probably then it would be costly, so that would probably be the drawback to that.
Okay. What about real time tracking for the caregiving staff? What would your interest in that technology be?
Well, see, I always I'm automatically going to how much is that going to cost? It'd probably be about a 3 as well.
And this is a hard way to ask the question, but assuming it was affordable, how would that change the rating at all? Just from a sheer value standpoint of understanding where they are.
Not so much for the employees. I would go more for the resident than the employee.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see a need to really track my staff that closely. I don't know. I hadn't really thought about tracking them that much.
Which is probably why they like you as a boss. Right?
Hey, as long as you get your job done,
right.
within the time frame, yeah.
Right.
So on the last item on real-time tracking, what about tracking for physical assets, equipment, things like that?
No. We typically, if we've got concerns about that, we have limited use of cameras. That's always a tough issue in cameras in assisted living, but we have used them in stairwells and main entrances and exits, so that anybody leaving with a TV or something, we typically can take care of that. I don't think there's too much assets that we'd be too worried about losing.
Okay. Fair enough. We have 3 more items. This is resident activity monitoring, for example, assessing movement patterns or kind of flagging to changes in behavior. You mentioned earlier something about having motion sensors in.
Yeah, sort of the idea is that how they move throughout their residence and being able to build a profile and then report on deviations from that profile.
That'd be cool. I would put that up there with a 4 or 5.
Okay.
Yeah, because again, you've got so many different eyes on them throughout the community. I mean, we're always supporting staff to let us notice any changes. That helps us kind of monitor and try to be proactive. But yeah, that'd be cool to be able to pull up a profile for them, and in working with families, again, talking about people who have dementia, there's going to come a day where those changes become pretty impactful, and having that as part of your toolbox to have that discussion with families and start planning for that next step could be really good. Hadn't even thought about that. Very cool.
Yeah. There's a little bit of an enhancement of that technology that we just talked about. It's kind of the category of predictive analytics, where you would perhaps use that information and, based on some sort of algorithm, try to predict future outcomes. Have you heard of anything like that? There are certain things in the market right now, but I wanted your thoughts.
Yes, actually, I have one company I'm familiar with. They are using some of their own data of move-ins, move-outs, and correlation to falls and hospitalizations, and they've kind of put out some pretty basic, but it's the same concept of, if we see these 4 factors happening within this time frame,